Hey guys, welcome back. And today I'd like to talk about how I film my YouTube piano lessons. So I'm going to walk you through the equipment I use and how I edit the videos. And this is not really an authoritative tutorial on how to do things, but it's just the way I personally found that works for me. And if you're interested in doing something similar and filming yourself, maybe not even playing piano, but just doing something else, and uploading it to YouTube or some other video platform, this video might help you out. Now, what you see in the background is just how a typical video of mine looks like. And now we can switch to some footage I took with my cell phone camera. And you can see my recording rig here. You can see the piano, and you can see there's a sort of a frame around it that holds the camera and everything. And I'm going to walk you through the different pieces of equipment. The first piece of equipment is this Zoom H6 recorder. This is a 6-track recorder. It can record up to 6 channels simultaneously on an SD card. And I personally prefer to record my stuff in a way that is not tied to a computer. I find it to be more reliable. It's sort of there when I need it. I don't need to turn on the computer and fire up all sorts of complex programs. And this Zoom recorder basically takes in 2 sources of audio, one of which is a stereo input from my digital piano, and a second is from a microphone to which I narrate my lesson. Now, what you see here are my studio monitors, which I use to hear myself playing when I play for my enjoyment. When I actually record my videos, I don't use them. I use a pair of headphones and the monitors are turned off. And they're just a simple pair of Mackie active monitors. Not very expensive. On top of the monitors, by the way, you see a Line 6 Pod X3, which I don't really use at all when I'm playing the piano or recording anything. It's just sitting there because I forgot to put it back in its place. Now, I'd like to say a few words about this metal frame that I use. It's just a metal frame that you can buy in any video store that's used for hanging green screens. So the original purpose of this is to hang a large piece of cloth behind you, which you can use for post-processing your videos. But I actually found a completely different use for it, which is to hang my camera and microphone and basically all of the equipment above the piano in a very sturdy way that it doesn't move. It sits there. It's very functional, useful. You can adjust the height and the width, and it just works. And I highly recommend that if you want to film something from above, you get yourself one of these. Alright, to the metal frame, I attach the camera and the microphone using different arms. And this arm, which I use to attach the microphone to, so you can hear me talk, is made out of 2 parts. The first part is what is called a super clamp. So that's like a big crab-like arm that attaches on one end to the metal frame, just by mechanical force. And on its other end, it has these special attachments, which are standard in the video making industry, like all these sort of stubs to which you can attach other things. And what I've chosen to attach to this other end is this long arm, which is a different item. And this long arm is, again, something that you can buy. It's not very expensive. And what's good about it, of course, is that you can pivot the microphone and adjust it to the height and location that are comfortable for you. This is the microphone I use. It's an Audio-Technica shotgun mic, which shotgun just means that it's kind of long and very directional. And I prefer a shotgun mic because it isolates the noise, the mechanical noise coming from the keyboard of the piano when I play it. So it does a fairly good job of that. Not perfect, but fairly good. And I've experimented with many different microphones. And honestly, I can say that I've tried more expensive ones and cheaper ones, and this one really sort of nails the job. I'm sure there are other microphones which can do a similar level job. This one just works. This is my main video recorder. It's a Canon T5i. And to be honest, it's a little bit embarrassing to admit that I don't really know a lot about shooting good video. I just bought the cheapest entry-level DSLR I could find and went with it. I even used a stock lens, which is probably a sin by many standards. But you know, it works for me. To be honest, I think you can probably make really good looking videos using your internal cell phone camera. And you know, you can buy these very cheap attachments, like $10 or something like that, that you can use to hold your cell phone very steadily and attach it to all sorts of video arms, so that you can really just use it as your main camera. But I sort of took the leap and experimented, and currently this DSLR fits me. So I use it. That's all there is to it. Now the camera itself is attached, again with a super clamp, to the main metal frame, and it sits on an adjustable ball head. And this head can be used to basically point the camera in different directions. So it's very nice to have this sort of adjustable, let's say, way of pointing the camera and slightly adjusting its tilt, so that even if for some reason it just helps getting it very straight to getting a very straight top-down view. The metal frame is also very useful and convenient for attaching lights. And again, this is a LED panel light that's attached with a clamp to the metal frame. And usually it's a good idea to have as much light as you can when shooting a video. Notice that this light is pointing away from the keyboard, from the piano, because usually you don't want to put the light directly on the object, because that creates all sorts of nasty shadows, which I've learned the hard way. What you usually want to do is just increase the ambient amount of light in the room. Probably if I was a good videographer, I would also have some diffusers and additional lights and all sorts of things I can't really even think of, because again, I'm not a videographer. But this is kind of a cheap way, relatively cheap way of getting just more light in the room. And this really gives off quite a nice amount of light, which adds to the main light in the room and increases the clarity of the video. Now, in case you're wondering, that's a Behringer mixer in the background. I don't really use it for the recording. I use it because I need something that lets me switch between a recording setup, a recording mode, and playing mode. You know, and I've said that when I record, I turn off my speakers. So this mixer lets me route between getting the audio into the Zoom H6 recorder and getting the audio into the speakers. So I can either play for my own enjoyment or sit down and record. And it's very easy to switch between the two setups. If you just want to record, then you don't really need a mixer. Now, this is what I use to actually edit my videos. It's Camtasia. I just stumbled across it by kind of mistake, because I was looking for a tool for screen capturing for my actual real work, which is not audio related. And I sort of got used to its video editor, and I use it now to edit all of my videos. In fact, what you see right now is me recording the voiceover for this video using the internal voiceover, voice narration abilities of Camtasia. Now, to be honest, if I had to restart everything over again and I was just going for video editing, I would probably go for one of the more popular platforms like Sony Vegas, or maybe Final Cut Pro, or maybe Adobe Premiere, because they have more flexibility. But Camtasia is really just very convenient to work in. And I don't want to waste any time learning a complex piece of software. Well, all I need to do really is just stick together different video clips and maybe just equalize some audio levels and, you know, not really do a lot of deep editing. So what you're seeing now is, of course, me recording the current narration for this video. That's it. I hope I've given you a sort of quick tour of my setup and how I record my videos, and I hope it helps you as well. Maybe get out there and record your own stuff. It doesn't have to be piano. Maybe you're into electronics and you want to make videos of soldering equipment, or maybe you're into I don't know, craft of some sort. You like to make jewelry and you can make upside, you know, top-down videos of you making jewelry and explaining what it is you do. That's it. I hope you've learned something interesting, and I'll see you next time.